We'll turn it up. I wanted to check in here with you on this day, this Wednesday, April 5th, 2023. It's 11:21 a.m. on the Swatch Watch here in the Central Standard Time farm fields of Valparaiso, Indiana. Looking in live here on the SPY, currently at 406.64, down the day over $2 bills. And I haven't spent any time on this today, so I thought I would just, instead of spending 5 minutes before hitting the record button, looking things over, I'll just do it live. We'll do it live. It's had some weird action right here. Weird down and a weird up. I don't know if we're going to be able to get in on this or not. I haven't even looked at what the credits are doing, but maybe because of volatility, there might still be some action. I was hoping just turning it on right before I clicked the record button. I was just looking at it quickly and thought, man, if it can get to 407, maybe we can get it entered into a trade. And I saw these two big green candles up and I thought, hey, we might be on to something. And then it did some weird downs. Downward facing dog, currently at 406.50. So it's dropping as we speak, but let's look at some of the premium just to see if there's any action due to volatility. And we'll look at those volatility numbers as well. So we would be looking at that 0 day to expiration that we've been working on lately. Sell, call credit spreads, right? And if we look up here into the 90s, I mean, there's a little action here, just barely at the 409 and 411, because if we click into this and then we buy this, it'll, that's going to turn to 2 cents. So that would give us a 4-cent credit. 4-cent credit. I'd love to see that at a 7 and that at a 2. 5-cent credit makes a big difference, right? $1 bill, if we go 5 or 10 contracts, that's what I've been dealing with lately. So it is trying to come back up. Let's click out of this and out of this. Take a look at that chart. And this is on Yahoo Finance, or actually finance.yahoo.com, but it's the Yahoo Finance page. Very helpful site, very helpful free site. You can take a look at the charts. And then how I have this particular chart set up is we've got different indicators. You see the Bollinger Bands, and that would be this from the top here. You see where my cross is, and this orangish peachy color, very peachy all the way down to the bottom. That's the Bollinger Bands, and that's where it's been trading at over the last 200 days, trailing average. We've got the purple line, okay, that is the 50-day moving average. There's our orange, that's the 200-day, which is showing us 407.37. And then the actual candles, and I have the candles set up at 1-minute intervals, and these are solid candles, not hollow candles. Okay, holla back. I'm not your holler back boy. I am your spy, checking SPY with our little eye here together, just seeing if there's any action that can be had. Got back up to 406.60, and now it's trying to walk in pairs down the stairs, making a clinkety sound. It's a wonderful thing. Everybody calls it Slinky. If you know that commercial, then yeah, you're probably pretty cool, but likely you don't, because you're not an old goat like me. So there we go, 406.56 on the SPY. See if this number's moved at all. Nope, it is not. So you'd almost, I've been thinking in my head that if this strike, because this strike that's always in the 80s, if this was more in the 87% range, it might be something I'd be willing to experiment with just to see how we're doing. But it is risky. It's very risky. But up here at the 409, that volatility is at 22. Pretty low. 408's at 20. Because you can make a nice little spread right there, and see now that's dropping. So SPY is on its way downtown to Chinatown as we speak. Yeah, look at that big red candle down. She's got a medium candle with a big red, followed by a third red. That would be good on the put side if we weren't nervous about the downside. Let's take a look at that put side of the credit spread, because that's when, when it's going downtown to Chinatown like that, is where you might be able to get some put action with better premiums than you can on the call side, because that's directional, right? So that's going in the direction of the trade. So you see these numbers are increasing as far as the percentage change. So all the way down here, so this is in the low 90s. So there's a big number. I mean, that's a good number between 403 and 401. And it might be something we can look at, because we're probably about to see it go down to 8 right before our very eyes. Because she's real fine, my 409. Let's take one more look back. Whew, it's trying to bounce out of that Bollinger Band, which makes me nervous. It does. It makes me a little nervous. And that's why you've seen me, and it's already gone down from 8 to 9 as we spy our little eye. That's why you've seen me almost exclusively trading on the call side of the credit spreads, is because my internal monologue, that voice in my head, keeps telling me that at some point the market is going to be given some ground, and it has been. It did it last year, and after having a nice little rebound at the very beginning of this year, it has still been trying to slowly creep its way down, and now we're currently at 405.99. So this number could go back up. Nope, it's back up to 406. So we could watch that turn to 409 before our very eyes. But then it makes me nervous if the trend for the day is to continue to threaten down, right? Because it's down there right now. It is down there. So go back to the call. Let's just check on the call again to see if there's just any type of action to be had. This 408, but see, that's only $2 out, less than $2 out. And this thing could bounce. It's just been bouncing around. Today it was all the way up to 407.50 earlier today. Now it's all the way down to that 406.08. And you've got a decent size trying to come back up. Not sure where that. Hold on one second. We're going to have to just get right out of there. It's called abort. All of those videos, those pop-up videos on the Yahoo Finance are supposed to be set to mute, but apparently that's not happening right now. So we can just watch it here as we boot it back up. Boot up the Yahoo Finance, get back into the SPY 1 day. Check the 1 day. Because the trend has been around this time of day, it usually goes sideways, and then towards the end of the day, it will make a little pop or pop down just a bit, depending on if it's a green or a red day. So we got to, be keeping our eye on that. So now it's trying to it's fighting its way back, 406.20. I'll be fighting my way back to you, babe. So once you click on the SPY, then you click on the chart, and these tabs here, because it'll automatically come up as summary. Click on the chart, and then for you, what it'll show is a different chart. But because I've been working with that 1 day chart, it's been automatically going to it for me with the 1 minute intervals, which you can set yourself to however you want to view it. But when I'm looking at the 1 day, I want to see the 1 minutes, and I like to see the colored candles. Because there are some indicators that go on. One of the indicators that I've seen, and let me see if I can point one out here, is it's the green candle. Like, this is just a baby example, but like, see this green candle with the little handle down. So if I go up, it has that little handle down, and sometimes, of course, that handle will be longer. And what that has shown me over time is that next move is typically always green. Watching the old chart here. So what are we at? 406.10. It's a battle. We may not make a SPY move today, or we could do just a little baby conservative trade just to get it on the board. Yes, you can put it on the board. Yes, I just don't like that 408. because that would scare me towards the end of the day. 409 to 411 now, it would only show us about a 2-cent credit. I don't want to put anything on the board for that. We go down to the put. Look at that put side, get into the 90s. If you're out here at the 403, if that goes back to 9 before our very eyes, I might go into it. I might go into it just for some fun and potential profit. It's not one to do it though, is it? We still could catch a nice number there though. Between 8 and 2 is 6. Because this will turn the 2, right? So if we click through here, sell put, we got 8 cents on the board. Then if we try to buy this 401, that's going to be 2. That's a 6-cent credit. That's not horrible. That isn't horrible. We'll watch it just another minute. If you have time, I mean, just tell me if you have time. In the meantime, we'll go back over here to TipRanks and check on these different upcoming ex-dividend dates. So here's, if we go to tipranks.com, I'll click to the main page. Tipranks.com, this is the dashboard. If we go to Research Tools tab and then follow that down to the dividend calendar, it's going to show you just that, a dividend calendar with a couple of names. Like here's JP Morgan. They're going ex-dividend date today, Wednesday, April 5th, and 48 more stocks. If we click onto that, scroll down a bit, and then there'll be a tab down here to show them all. So here are the stocks that are going ex-dividend today. So today would be too late for us. If we wanted to collect this dividend on Campbell Soup and get paid on May 1st, it's too late for us because we would need to have been an owner with our trade cleared the business day prior to April 5th. So if we get back up here, based on where we're at now, I would go to next week. Okay, so if we go to next week and we look at, one of the things I was considering was Abbott. So ABT, I have AbbVie, those used to be the same company. Abbott spun off AbbVie. So those are two separate entities now. Abbott's only at a 189, but it is a strong performing company. It's a dividend king, I believe. Is it a king? Let's take a look. Let's take a look at Abbott and see how many years that they have been paying those dividends. Dividend history. So they've been paying dividend. So they're a dividend aristocrat with 33 years of consecutive dividend payments. And so that is, and their safety scores. No, they're not great. I was planning on seeing basically all green. Dividend scorecard currently at 198. So let's take a look at the dividend yield just to see if the 4-year average is lower than 198. And it is. It's lower than 198. So just simple math on the dividend yield theory says that Abbott is maybe a bit underpriced. So if we go over to our friends at Alpha Spread, I just like the cut of their jibs over there at Alpha Spread. Let's see if they feel the same way about Abbott. Is Abbott a bit underpriced? We shall see. And they're saying that it's overvalued by 7%. And then on a worst case scenario, it's overvalued by, having a little issue here with our farm field internet, 23%, and base case is undervalued by 29%. So I like to look at their base case. I look through some of their docs. One of the things about Abbott though that I like, if we look at some of their financials, if we go to their financials, Abbott has some dough. They got net income rolling in 6.9 billion. That's very nice. That's a pretty good deal. Income statement, their revenue was down 3% from the previous year. Gross profit down 5%. But if we look at similar stocks, it'll show you they're overvalued or undervalued as well. So I guess Abbott doesn't really jump out on us, and we do have a similar exposure, I guess you can say, with that AbbVie. All right, 406.20. So that means our put side of things is down. Yep, we've lost a bit of our action there on the put side, but we probably would have gained some action on our call side. So let's see what we're at here. So that 408 is still attractive. It's in that 86% range, but is it attractive enough for us at this very moment? SPY is battling. It just doesn't seem, I just don't feel any number is attractive to me right now. So we're probably not entering SPY today. Sorry to spend all this time doing nothing, but this is the thought processes I have. Typically, I'll spend about 5 to 10 minutes before clicking the record button, thinking all of these things to myself before making a move. So at this moment, unless we can get back into that action on the put side, I'm not sure we have any moves to make on SPY today. So I will check in again. I'll see you in the next video.